Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday night Q&A Hangout. We're going to talk about a bunch of fun stuff today. There's a little bit of drama going on, per usual, I guess, during contract negotiations these days, it seems. So we'll talk about that, but definitely we will go wherever you guys want to go with the chat today. I'll answer as many questions as I can and talk Chiefs, football, whatever you got. So we're definitely going to do that, but first... Had to hit him with the intro. What's up, everybody? Just so you know, off the front end here, I just dropped the video at 7:50 tonight. It's 8:08 or 8:06, and I talk a lot more about the Chris Jones situation, and I recap most of the pressers from today, or take out like the key highlights. Spags spoke, Matt Nagy spoke, LaMichael Pirine spoke, Derek Nottie, Isaiah Pacheco spoke, so I kind of cover all of that, plus the most updated injury report in tonight's video, so make sure to check that out if you haven't, or later. But I'm just saying, if you're rewatching this video at the beginning and you're like, yo, what's going on, what happened today, I do cover all that in tonight's video that I just dropped. With all that being said, though, how the heck y'all doing, man? We got 230 of you in here already. Casey, what's up? Casey said... Good video, Cole. Situation is worrying, but also pretty annoying. 1 second he's going to be a Chief forever. Now he's being childish. Yeah. If some of you don't know, okay, Chris Jones basically said, we can go to Twitter real quick, just so you know, because they're like, not everybody will have seen the video by now. So I'll pull it up. I know this looks funny. Hold on. All right. So basically, Chris Jones said he's fine to hold out until week 8 if needs be and can afford to miss it financially. I said, please, for the love of God, no. Part of me thinks this is some weird high-level troll of Chris Jones and he's just messing around. Basically, what's happening here is this guy said, Stone Cold Jones tags him. It's weird to me when fans tag players. Like, not to say hi or... for whatever, but it's to tag players to then speak down on them. It's just weird. Anyway, he said, so when you going to show up? Because you be playing too much on Twitter and social media. You've been an all-pro on social media during training camp. It's kind of funny. You're under contract for this year. Correct. For how much money? Man, I bet this is the weird part to me. Why do you got to say this? Man, I bet it's rough to live on $20 million in a year. I mean, shoot. Give me $1 million and I'm fine. But anyway, Chris Jones actually responded. But what the guy was even saying is Chris Jones tweeted this out first. Okay. Then the guy responded to it, but it just said, if it's out of your hands, it deserves freedom from your mind also. Chris Jones just said so much of this stuff. I don't really even care. I didn't even talk about it in today's video, not this tweet, because he does it so much during these contract negotiations. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. Anyway, he responded saying week 8. And what he's answering here is this guy said, so when you going to show up? Because you be playing too much on Twitter and social media. Chris Jones said week 8. Okay. So then, can I get there? Arrowhead Live said that's a hefty tab, meaning you would miss out on a lot of money if you miss the first 7 games or whatever it is. I don't think their bye week is within the first 7. I could be wrong. I don't remember off the top of my head. Chris Jones then responded saying, I can afford it. Okay. So that's what's going on. And part of me thinks / hopes he's trolling, because just recently he responded to a fan saying, I'm still under contract through the end of the year. Let's just enjoy this season. Yeah, I don't know what to fully make of it, but that's why I titled this live stream, Can a Chris Jones deal still get done? I mean, the easy or short answer to that is yes, but I think with each passing day, it gets a little bit more complicated, and I'm actually hoping that nothing happened. Hey, somebody said in response to the Chris Jones situation, they said, see ya. And if you're from Kansas City area, this should replay in your head if you're old enough. At old late the Kia, see ya. At old late the Kia, something, 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 well, I guarantee ya. Anyway, he said, see ya. I said at old late the Kia because as a child, that commercial played every single day. Anyway, so that's the Chris Jones situation. That's what's going on. And I'm just kind of curious to see some of your guys' thoughts on the situation. Do you think it's a high-level troll? Do you think there's a little bit of seriousness there? Like some say, well, where there's smoke, there's fire. Yeah, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. I still think a deal could get done, but with each passing day, it's looking a little less likely. But we'll have to see. We have till, the first game, September 7th. If he holds out till week 8, that's a long time. I would like to say I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen, because I am pretty sure that's not going to happen, but there is a piece of me that's like, how serious? How far is he going to take this? So hopefully not. So people understand if he sits out more than 8, then he wouldn't meet his contract requirements and he'd still be under contract for next season too. Yeah, it has to do with, what's the actual term for that, David? An accrued season, I think is what it is. Yeah. Cole, do you think a deal will get done? I mean, I hope so. My confidence level is still above 50%. But it was about at a 90 a couple weeks ago, or, maybe an 85, and it's slowly dipping down. Slowly dipping down. What's the point of him even sitting out? Asked Jackson. Dude's going to lose what he got paid either way. Well, I think the hope is he gets that long-term deal and he more than makes up for missing the handful of million as he gets a multi-year extension with 70+ million guaranteed. I mean, I don't know. Yo, Huck with the 11 months. Fans need to leave him alone. Going at him on socials isn't going to make him want to come play. Yeah, I don't even think it's as deep as, like, some people think, oh, if a player sees it and responds to you, they're not going to want to play for that team. I don't think they care that much. You know what I mean? But to directly tweet at players and then talk down on them, yeah, that's pretty weird. So I'm not a big fan of that. I agree with you. We're going to lose Mahomes eventually. I don't know. We'll see about that. Hopefully not. The defense is going to look real rough if he sits until week 8. Yeah, think about this. This is what the craziest part about it all is. If he sat that long, which I hope he doesn't, there's no Omenihu either. There's no Charles Omenihu for 6 weeks. He's suspended starting week 1. So no Omenihu and no Chris Jones. Omenihu is basically the Frank Clark replacement. So that's like no Frank, no Chris. You would have Turk Wharton he's still not even cleared to play yet. You have Nadi, you have Mike Dana, you have George, you have FAU, you have Keandre Coburn, BJ Thompson. Like, there's bodies in there, Danny Shelton, but yeah, not super encouraging without both of those. Yo, Veta, yeah, let's go. Veta's one of the OG mods. Can a deal just get done already so we can stop worrying? Yeah, please, Amani. Please. Bye week is week 9. Okay. Week 9. So, yeah, they wouldn't even have a bye week during that time either. Who else on the D-line can the Chiefs expect to get double-digit sacks? I mean, if Karlaftis continued his end-of-season trend, he could get double-digit sacks, maybe right around 10. But at the same time, no Omenihu and no Jones, if Jones actually sat out, it would make everybody else, it would make getting sacks on the QB like way harder, because sometimes the D-line, I think they got like 55 last year, not just the D-line, but the defense as a whole. Remember, Spags blitzes everybody. I think Willie Gay had a couple sacks. Snead had 4. So they can get sacks other ways, but think about it. Sometimes when the D-line got to the QB for a sack, it was because Chris Jones was double-teamed, triple-teamed, and it allowed another person to free up and get home. So no Chris Jones, no Omenihu in that situation. It makes everybody else's job harder to get to the QB. So I hope that's not what happens. I hope that's like worst case scenario. I hope he does not hold out that long. Yeah, Dr. Jeremy said even if he's trolling, it's a bad look. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, if a deal is going to get done, it's a little weird to troll that hard at the fan base. And I understand what the guy did was not the best, how he approached Chris Jones and talked down to him. Like, I get that, but like, to troll that hard, it's a little much. Time to move forward. You can't move forward without Chris Jones. So it's hard to do. Yo, what's up, Velt? Kelly in here. I'm hoping he doesn't get hurt if he comes back by week 1. Yeah, you would have to, even Spag said you'd have to ramp the guy up, you know. He'd have to acclimate and participate in the ramp up period and all that, but even still, there's concern about not being game ready. West Indian Chief said he's just joking. Yeah, I mean, I'm not freaking out like 10 out of 10 Mayday. However, it's a bit weird. It's a bit odd to troll the fan base like that. So, okay. I see that. I see that he could be joking. I've kind of talked about that already. Like, it could be a high-level troll. And even if it is, it's just a little weird. Not gonna lie. Tank 7? Oh, I wish I had Tank 7. Shoot. I saw exclamation point Tank 7 in chat. I wish. Where's the Tank 7s? Yo, Chris! I don't have any in my possession. They're gone. We're empty. We're out. Chris Jones sits out regular season games and at least 2 more games after Jones signs. Jones did this to get his sack. To get his sacks just on his effort? I have no idea what you said, Joe. Jones did that to get his sacks? I don't know what you mean. Can you clarify? Any idea? Yeah, I'm Tank 7 so good. The chat's moving pretty quickly here. Where'd that go? We don't have a Mahomes on the defensive side of the ball, though. Yeah, it's not the same as losing Tyreek. I think losing Chris Jones is a bit more detrimental to the defense than losing Tyreek. I've talked about this before, but when you traded away Tyreek, he was the 3rd best offensive player after Mahomes and Kelsey. I mean, you could debate 2A and 2B. So Mahomes and then Kelsey is 2A, or you could even go Mahomes 1A, Kelsey 1B, then Tyreek 2. Either way, I would argue that Kelsey is more important to the offense than even Hill. So Hill gets traded. He's about the 3rd most important player on the offense. And that's no disrespect, like Hill's a dog, but there's nobody more important on defense than Chris Jones. I mean, I'm trying to think of like who's the 2nd most important. I'd say L'Jarius Sneed, but maybe Nick Bolton. But like L'Jarius Sneed's having a knee flare up, and he's not doing the best, at least at this point, from what I can tell. Hopefully, all the rest he's been doing, all of training camp, all the preseason games, it's actually helping his knee. But you know, time will certainly tell. Talk about Justin Ross. What do you want me to talk about? You got to ask a question. I don't think Veach would trade Chris Jones. He spent the last 5 seasons building the defense around him. Yeah. I mean, you would think if he traded Chris Jones, it would have been before the draft. Danny, what are you doing? Laundry? That's not fun. Say hi. Any idea of our cap room and ideas of reality of paying him? Well, we don't have much cap room right now, but a Chris Jones extension would, in theory, free a bunch up. Now, you know, the report, it's been quiet on the report front as far as, I just really think they're at a bit of a stalemate right now. Maybe things are heating up behind the scenes a little bit, but one of the last reports out there was Chris Jones wanted to be paid at least as high as Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald is making an average of $31 million a year, and he got, I don't even know how much guaranteed. It was around $80 million. It was quite a bit if you figure out the guaranteed he had in his original deal, and then they extended him. Talking about Aaron Donald, they extended him to keep him from retiring. He has a couple null years at the end of it, basically. Like, you could get out of his contract after next year. It's still a pretty big cap hit, but 2 years from now, it's basically done. Very minimal cap hits. But I don't know. The 2nd highest paid defensive tackle is Quinnen Williams, $24 million per year. I don't have all the contract details pulled up, but so it's kind of a gap between the 2nd highest being Quinnen Williams, $24 million a year. Aaron Donald's $31.7 million a year. And I talked about this on Twitter today, and I just kind of asked the question, if and it's not a direct comparison, but I said, do you think that Aaron Donald's contract for his position is about as much of an outlier as Deshaun Watson's contract is for his position? Now, Deshaun Watson's contract will probably never happen again, okay? It's $240 million guaranteed or whatever it was. Now, Aaron Donald, his contract is a bit of an outlier right now, in my opinion, just based on the overall performance of defensive tackles and their value. I do think with the salary cap continuing to climb every year, I think Aaron Donald's numbers will be eventually a norm. I mean, remember when Mahomes got his deal done, he was getting paid more than everybody else. They said, oh, Mahomes is going to completely drain the Chiefs of all valuable resources to keep people around him. And obviously now, Patrick Mahomes at an average value per year, he's 7th, 8th highest paid quarterback or something like that. So I don't think it's a direct comparison to Deshaun Watson's contract. It's not. But I'm just saying it's a bit of an outlier, Aaron Donald's contract is right now for his position. I think it'll get there. But I would just be very surprised if anybody, another team, anybody outside of KC or the Chiefs paid more or at Aaron Donald's level. If I'm wrong, that's fine. Totally cool with that, but I would be a bit surprised. Chiefs have been around a lot longer than Chris Jones. Yeah, that's true. Very true. Yeah, James said AD's contract is an outlier. I agree. Casey said, too bad our best offensive and defensive player don't both want a team-friendly deal. Everybody knows Mahomes is worth more than he makes, but he wants to win. You said, too bad our best offensive and defensive player don't want a team-friendly deal? Who? Mahomes? He's on a team-friendly deal right now. The league moves on. Chris sitting out doesn't hurt anyone but Chris Jones. It hurts the entire Chiefs organization as well. Phil said Chris Jones is not God. Okay, well, thanks for that clarification. We will win without him. He is being a spoiled little brat. I don't know. That's a little harsh probably, but I do think the Chiefs will struggle to win a few more games than if they had Chris Jones. But, I'm not saying they can't win without him, but it does make it harder. That's for sure. Makes it hard. Connor said, for some reason, I feel like Chris would get injured immediately. I mean, I hope not, but yeah, that's part of the concern of missing all of camp. And he's been away from the team for quite a while. So, if I remember right, Chris Jones didn't even show up to veteran or mandatory minicamp, did he? I don't think he did. Can somebody let me know in the comments? I don't think he did. Yeah, Chad said he didn't have a single sack in his first 13 postseason games. Yeah, but if you go watch those games, it's more than just sacks because of the attention he demands at the line, his ability to play the run, and other people got home even when Chris wasn't able to because Chris Jones was out there. So it's not just Chris Jones didn't get sacks in the postseason, so he's not worth it. Maybe he's not going to get what he's wanting, but he's still a very valuable piece of the D-line. Stats aren't the tell-all, even though they play a role. So you're not stating a lie. He didn't have a sack for the first however many postseason games he was in. He didn't get one until this past season. But other people got home because of him. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about that. What about the possibility of opening games if he doesn't show up to play? How much for Dunlap? Well, Dunlap signed last year for like a 1-year, $3 million deal. The problem is the Chiefs don't have like any cap space. So you would have to, they could, I'm sure there's a way to pull an emergency lever somewhere on somebody's contract, whether it's Kelsey's, Joe Tooney's. Like, there's got to be a way to do it. If they're like, dude, we need somebody. But even like, if you're going to bring in somebody like Dunlap, you need to do that now. You need to get these players like acclimated and ready. You know, even Chris Jones returning, it's going to take a little while. If he doesn't come back soon, like within the next week or so, he might, you know, he could miss week 1 or play a very small snap count. I'm trying to look at what the Chiefs cap space is. It says the cap space, this is per over the cap, is $748,000. It's not very much. Not saying it's all on Chris Jones, but part of the problem is his agents. I could see them telling him to push for getting all the money. Yeah, well, part of the problem is Chris Jones' agents, is it the Katz brothers? They're pretty small. And he's the biggest client they represent. So, yeah, they want to get a bag because they want to be able to sign more people, you know? So, yeah, the agents could play a little bit of a role, I guess. You know, there's going to be details we're never going to find out. I'm pretty exhausted over the ordeal, to be honest. But I love talking Chiefs. I love talking with you guys. We're here for the Q&A Hangout. We have 600 in chat. I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for being here. You know, I quit my job September of 2022 to do this full time. And, dude, it's been the best decision ever. We're coming up on a year of quitting the day job, and it's been crazy. So I'm super grateful to be able to do this, even though, you know, I understand the Chris Jones situation's tiring, but dude, I just love hanging out with y'all and talking Chiefs. If you want to talk other areas of the roster or anything like that, we could definitely talk about it. Living the dream, man. It's you know, somebody said, what's the saying? What's the saying? You never have to go to work if you love I don't know what the freaking saying is, but basically, this is my job, but I love it. So it makes it fun. Like, I wake up every day happy. Like, I love doing this, man. I love it. I don't think Veach is even offering him $28 million, said Woozy Guy. If the difference between a yes and a no is like $2 million, he's already accrued that in fines. It's only worth it to do this if Veach is lowballing him in the low 20s. Yeah, I wouldn't think it would be the low 20s. I mean, I think it would be somewhere in the middle of Aaron Donald and Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams at $24 million per year. The argument also could be over guarantees and years of contract, right? So the Chiefs could, like they did that a little bit with like Orlando Brown Jr.'s contract. They beefed it up to make it look pretty nice, but on the back end there was some, you know, basically void years, and Orlando didn't like that, you know. So there's a little bit you could, what do I want to say? There's a few things they could be kind of going back and forth about or not close on. It could be guarantees, it could be years of the deal, it could be average per year, probably a combination of all three in some regard. Chris Jones wanting as close to Aaron Donald numbers in all regards as possible and as much guaranteed as he can. Chiefs are probably trying to go a little bit closer to the Quinnen Williams deal as far as the numbers are concerned. So, truth is somewhere in the middle, somewhere. You think Jones wants that Bosa deal done? Oh, that would be interesting if he's holding out just until Bosa gets his deal done. But the fact that Bosa is a defensive end, I don't know. That's a good question. I just don't know. I know Bosa's holding out as well. Tyler said issue is 100% Donald's contract. Jones ain't worth that. Not close. Somebody said, where did I read this? Somebody said something interesting recently. They said something along the lines of the fact that Chris Jones outperformed Aaron Donald last season doesn't show that Chris Jones deserves Aaron Donald money. It shows basically that Aaron Donald's contract is an outlier and he's overpaid. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Again, Chris Jones is worth a lot of money, dude. I am definitely most times like team go get your bag, but at the same time, like if the team has a line in the sand that they're unwilling to cross in some regard, or maybe there's a couple, like they're like, well, okay, we could do this, but we can't do all of that. If it's like all or nothing for Chris, I mean, and Veach and company's like, dude, we can't do that. You're about to turn 30. We can't give you a, you know, I don't know, 4-year deal, blah, blah, blah. Most of it guaranteed. Like, yeah, we'll probably never know all the details, to be honest. I don't think okay, I read that. Yeah. Business is business. Yeah, it sucks. But it's part of it. Donald is overpaid, said Emperor. Yo, actually, I had a membership that I missed. Where did that go? Shoot. Who just became a member? Chief Kelsey for 5 months. Thanks for the 5 months, Chief Kelsey. Let's go. The issue is Donald contract. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I think that has a wrench thrown into some things a little bit. Jeremy with the 10 gifted. Oh my gosh. Thanks for the 10, bro. Jeremy just be like every stream dropping bombs.
10-5 touchdown, Kansas City.
I sent Greg a message. I'm like, dude, are you good? I haven't heard from Greg in a while. I haven't even seen him in chat. Have you guys? Like, I didn't see him at the play-by-play. I've got a couple packages to open that he sent over, but I hope he's doing all right. Legend Greg has been working like 14 to 16 hour days on this crazy job. Scott with the 5, appreciate you, man. With Buechele playing second, is there a chance the Chiefs might be shopping him and showcasing him with the ones? Huh. I don't know, because I guess you can't rule that out, but what would you really get for Shane Buechele? You know what I mean? No disrespect to him, but shopping him, like, Scott, in your opinion, what would they be shopping him for? You know, he'd be a backup QB on another roster more than likely. You know, if a team starter got hurt and then their backup was in and they're looking for like a super solid, like, next man up guy, maybe. But what do I want to say? I want to go like 3 different directions here. Andy Reid basically said something along the lines of, normally in the game that they played last week, the backup quarterback, the veteran, doesn't play. So Chad Henne, last year, he didn't play. Second game, preseason. It went straight to Buechele. Now, the fact that Gabbert came in later, I think it was a wise decision because he's still new. This is Gabbert's first year in the system. He needs reps under his belt, and he freaking balled out, by the way. 158.3 QBR or passer rating, whichever one it is. Yeah, I don't know if they're shopping Buechele. I think there's still somewhat of a battle going on between Buechele and Gabbert as QB2, although I'm still like 75% sure Gabbert's QB2 at this point in time. Although it's a good problem to have that Buechele is looking so good as well. I think they roll with 3 QBs. I don't think Shane would clear waivers. And maybe they tuck him in for 1 more year, and then he's QB2 next year. You know, somebody made a good point the other day. They said, well, Mahomes is the vet now. He doesn't need the veteran in that room with him anymore. And I understand that to a degree. But the value that Blaine Gabbert brings for this year, I think, is he sat under Tom Brady for 2 or 3 years at Tampa Bay, and he's taken that, from sitting under one of the best to ever do it. You know, you could say what we want about Tom Brady. I know he's not a popular subject in this chat, but he is bringing some value there. So we'll see. I'm intrigued. About the QB battle, the running back battle, which is Pirine and Prince. LaMichael Pirine, the 4th round pick of the Jets in 2020, kind of trying to restart his career after getting waived in 2022, kind of bounced around a couple practice squads and signed with the Chiefs in January. So he's been with the Chiefs since January. He knows the playbook pretty freaking well. Definitely excited to see this game, this Saturday, the first home game. It's against the Stains, the Cleveland Stains, but I'm excited to see them play at Arrowhead and see some of these guys get some more reps. Andy Reid also said this week, guys, that they could be rolling with 6 or 7 wide receivers. And for Andy Reid to say that threw me off, because they've never rolled with 7 wide receivers with Andy as head coach in Kansas City. Now, I'm talking about on the initial 53. Have they done that before Andy Reid? I mean, maybe somebody in chat that's a friggin' historian might be able to tell me. But I was surprised by that. So he also said wide receiver 6 and 7, those spots are wide open right now with nobody really earning the nod. I mean, I don't believe him a little bit. I think the 7 is Kadarius Toney, MVS, Rashee Rice, Sky Moore, Richie James, Justin Watson, and Justin Ross. Not in that exact order, as like not that exact pecking order, but I think that's the 7. Now, somebody said today, I think Justin Ross and Richie James are locks, but that last spot is a battle between Justin Watson and Amir Smith-Marset. I don't know. I think Justin Watson's a lock, dude. He's been rolling with the ones. He barely plays because he leaves when the ones do. I'm talking this preseason. Meanwhile, Amir Smith-Marset's been playing with the third-team offense. I don't think it's a battle between Justin Watson and Amir Smith-Marset. If it's a battle between any two, it's probably Justin Ross and Amir Smith-Marset, but I still have Ross on the roster. I do wonder if Amir Smith-Marset has outplayed himself in Kansas City, meaning if he doesn't make the 53 and gets cut, during cutdowns, he gets waived. He could very well get claimed off waivers, so that's pretty unfortunate, but it's a good problem to have, right? If you have competitive depth in the wide receiver room. But I'd be curious to know some of your thoughts. Somebody said, what are your thoughts on Harrison Butker? One of the best in the game. I think he spoke at a presser a couple weeks ago and said his foot feels better now than it did this time last year. And he didn't hurt his ankle yet during this time. So he's changed his technique and stuff a little bit. But from all the reports at camp, I didn't always share it in my videos, but he was hitting the majority of his kicks, the majority of his practice kicks and stuff like that. So I just hope that something gets done with Chris Jones in this situation. Me too, Rifleman. Me too. He needs 7 because he's placing chips on as many squares as possible. No real dominant 1 or even 2. Yeah, the dominant 1 is Travis Kelce. We all know that, but tight end technically. So we'll put Kelce aside. I saw somebody comment today, MVS is going to be a surprise cut. No, he is not. What? You can move on from him more realistically after next year based on how his contract is set up. But MVS is not a surprise cut. That makes no sense. That literally makes 0 sense. I don't know where people get their ideas. Yeah, D-back. He said wide open. Gotta love Andy Reid pressers. Dude, exactly. They have a pretty good idea. Now, he is encouraging. He's trying to encourage the rest of the room. You know what I mean? So they keep balling out and going ham. But yeah, he was being coy on who, which is fine. But it was still funny. Yo, Steven with the 5 months. Jonesing for Jones. Steven, thanks for the 5 months, bro. Good to see you as always. So does Jones only get half a ring for holding out? Well, if they win this year, he holds out till week 8, they win the Super Bowl this year, he's gonna open his ring box and it's gonna be like just the bottom half of the ring. just the bottom. No, I'm just playing. It's kind of funny though. Steve, Mahomes over 5,300 yards this year. He was right around there last year, right? He was like 5,250. 5,250, and he basically played the whole season. Didn't really, like, to the best of my knowledge, last year, Mahomes didn't even really get hurt till the playoffs, which freaking sucked. But thanks for the 2, man. What do you guys think? Over, under on Mahomes throwing for 5,300 yards. I'm going to ask it, and I'm going to do a poll. Will Mahomes throw more or less than 5,300 yards? I mean, I think he gets somewhere around there. If I took the under, it would be barely. But I still think he's somewhere right around there. It's pretty hard to know. I mean, every year, the last 3 years, 2020, he had 4,700 yards. 2021, he had 4,800. And then, was last season the first season they added the 17th game? It was either the last year or it kind of blends. It was either last year or the year before. But then this past season, 5,200 yards. So I'll be curious what you guys vote to get your thoughts. Jason Lee, what's up, man? Thanks for the 5. Any chance you and Brandon Perna could do a live stream together when the Broncos play the Chiefs? I think that would be awesome to get you two together. Honestly, I think Perna said he's down. So I'm down. That would be that would be an interesting stream, dude. Oh man, because it's not just like I'm also gonna talk with Grossi and see if he wants to co-stream or collab on a stream for the Packers and Chiefs game. But that's not even really a rivalry. Like, yeah, that'll be like a fun game, and I hope the Chiefs win. But we're talking a diehard Broncos fan and a diehard Chiefs fan. I mean, hey, shout out to Brandon Perna. You know, he's been super helpful for me and my channel. He's answered any questions I've had. He's had me on his podcast to introduce me to his fan base and pull some Chiefs fans over here. That's some of you guys in chat didn't even know about me until Brandon Perna and Tom Grossi kind of put me in there, like on their spotlight to their base. And then I'm on the same management company as Perna, and I have a coffee blend with his coffee company. So yeah, he's a really good dude, man. That'd be fun. That'd be pretty fun. 61 touchdowns, said second place. I believe Chiefs' last depth chart, which doesn't mean much, had Watson as wide receiver 5 or 6, with Ross 7. Yeah, I'd have to go look at it. I did glance through it, and I didn't see anything super crazy because that's kind of where I have Watson. I don't have Watson as like a top 3 receiver, even though in preseason he was like one of the first 3 out there. Where would the depth chart be? I think Charles Goldman. I think Charles Goldman DM'd me, and he had the link. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, we could... Ooh, the quality's kind of rough. Let me see. I mean, I can share the screen. The quality's a little rough, but I mean, we could look at it for sure. Let's see. Yeah, you have Sky Moore. We're talking wide receivers right now. Sky Moore, MVS, Tony, then Richie James, yeah, then Justin Watson, then Rashee Rice, then Justin Ross. Again, this is a unofficial depth chart put out by the PR. The Chiefs PR, not ran by the Chiefs coaches, I don't believe. I mean, maybe they glance at it, but it's not like it's nothing official. Although, most of it's pretty spot on. I mean, if I say 7 wide receivers are making it, I have those 7 making it. We can argue about the order that they'll end up being production-wise later. But I think those 7 are the ones that make the roster. And then Amir Smith-Marset is right there. He's wide receiver 8 on this depth chart. And he's a guy fighting. I do have Ross over ISM, although I thought he had a really good game. Last game, he had a great game. I think he had the second most receiving yards outside of just Rashee Rice. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing too crazy on this thing. Like when I look at it, you know, obviously Chris Jones is on there and he's not even there, but he is technically one of the main starting defensive tackles on the roster. Kadarius Toney, even though he's hurt, he's still one of the, the main wide receivers as well. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing too crazy here. I mean, you look at the defensive line, and it's kind of sad in some places when you think about a Minihue and being suspended, and then if Chris Jones isn't there. Like, it's no disrespect to some of these other guys, but geez Louise, those are some pretty big shoes to fill. I am excited for George Karlaftis entering year 2. He was sick today from practice, by the way. Hopefully it's a minor illness, but either way, he doesn't really need to play in this preseason game. But yeah, if there's anything you see standing out to you in the depth chart, let me know. Stewart said Kelsey 1,200 yards, Richie James 900, Sky 750, MVS 650, and Rice 550. Dude, we should start we should have like a I don't know how we could do it legally. We should play some wagers on not even necessarily how many yards each receiver gets, but whoever gets closest to the order of overall receiving yards for the receivers at the end of the season wins like a signed Kelsey jersey or something. That'd be kind of fun. Yo, CB said, where can I get that shirt you're wearing right now? This shirt, Bunker KC. That's where it's from. A little behind the back pass will put Pat over 5,300 yards. Imagine. What's up, Greer and nobody? Watson just seems to always make plays when it matters and nobody else is open. Yeah, I mean, they like him. They're high on Justin Watson. Yeah. They're pretty high on Justin Watson, man. He scored a touchdown on their drive in the preseason. He has good rapport with Mahomes. He's pretty fast, especially for a white guy. He's holding it down for the pasties, for the pasty people with his speed. But yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere. David with the $10. Thanks, man. At some point, does the holdout cross the line where Chiefs would take a Tyreek Hill level King's ransom, 4 to 5 picks with the first and asked one? I don't know if you meant to say asked one. I don't know what that means at the end there, but I think the issue is if you wanted a haul like that, you would have needed to trade the guy before the draft. Sure, some teams would be willing to give up some future draft capital. I think the problem is for some of these teams is going to be the money. You know, I'm sure there's some teams out there that probably could force the cap space. I haven't looked at it. So I guess you can't rule out a trade, but dude, you would have to trade him for another defensive player on the line. Like, in order for that to make sense, like the team you trade him to would basically have to be willing to pay him, but then give you somebody back in return that could help contribute. I just don't see I don't see an option or a possibility of the Chiefs trading Jones just for a bunch of draft picks. Like, you need somebody this season. Do you guys, I know I'm not a minority in this belief, but am I putting too much emphasis on Chris Jones' value on the defense or what? Because he's the most important player on the defense. So if you're going to trade him, you need somebody back in return. Less than ideal of a situation. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm not tripping when I say he's the most important player, right? You guys agree with me. I'm talking on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, Mahomes would be most important. All right, so there's 252 votes while you guys weigh in on that question that I just asked. 252 votes on this poll. 60% of you say Mahomes will throw the over of 5,300 yards. I like how I said more and under instead of more and less. I didn't even realize I said that. But there you have it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's around 5,000 again. And if he goes over 5,300, great. If he's at 48, 49, fine too. I mean, at the end of the day, if the Chiefs just stack the W's and are one of the top seeds in the AFC again, and just hope for another deep postseason push, but I would love for him to stack the stats, baby. Let's see, Brand with the 5. Someone say wager, Sky, then MVS, then James, then Rice, Tony, Watson, and Ross. Order of most receiving yards. We should write this down and try to figure it out and see who gets the closest. I think that would be fun. Thanks for the 5, bro. Yeah, I right now would probably have MVS as the leading receiver outside of Kelsey, but if it's Sky, that's fire. It's so hard to guess, dude. Because, like, Mahomes could literally throw it to anybody on any particular play. Like, he did that last year. He threw it all around. Too quick with the 10. Thanks, bro. Do you think this year's Chiefs offense will be as good as last year? And why would teams trade for Chris Jones if they know he's going to be available next year? Well,
Reaper and go get it.
That's a good point. For a team to actually make like a serious move for Chris Jones this year, they would either believe he's the last piece of the puzzle for a Super Bowl run, or they're facing some crazy injuries on the D-line and would love to go get him next year anyway. But I understand what you're saying. Like, if he's going to hit the open market next year, why don't you just wait? So I agree there. It's a very complex, not ideal situation in a lot of these scenarios. And then, of course, the Chiefs could tag him. It's going to be a huge cap hit, and then there's a bunch of complex things that could play out. Some people are like, well, just tag him next year and trade him. Well, easier said than done, I can't wait for it to be over, guys. I can't wait. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, did David bring some clarity on his message? Did anybody see David? One of the mods let me know. Taylor said, love the content. Taylor, thank you so much. Appreciate the kind words. Oh, he meant first and second? Oh, okay. 4 to 5 picks with a first and second. Yeah, it's hard to know, man. I hope that doesn't happen. Jones is invaluable, said Larry. Cole, you're correct. No, Chris Jones was a beast for sure. Can't wait past week 1, said David. Oh, can't wait past week 1. Okay. Get Chase Young from the Commanders. He's not Chris Jones, but yeah, I saw an interesting stat on Chase Young as far as his production. But I'd have to go look it up to see it would have to be the NFC. Not going to trade him to the AFC. I don't know why we didn't try to extend him before the draft. Well, I think initially the reason why the Chiefs didn't try to extend Chris Jones before the draft, I'm sure there was like a little bit of convos, but I think Chris Jones and his agent wanted to see how the defensive tackle market played out. I think they knew there were some other guys needing to get deals, one of them being Quinnen Williams. And Chris Jones knew he was going to be higher than all those guys. So I think he just wanted to see where the market fell for the defensive tackle position. Is my best guess on why they waited. Yeah. Stewart said, okay, D-backs. The real question, assuming Chris Jones shows up. Yeah, it's going to put the defensive backs in overdrive, like a lot in the games if they don't have a Minihue and Jones. So hopefully they just do because not ideal. KWL said, but if Chris Jones doesn't play for 8 weeks, we don't have him anyway. I mean, that's true. Very true. Okay, there was a 2-part question to this too quick. Too quick with the 2-part. He then also said, do you think this year's Chiefs offense will be as good as last year? I mean, I don't really see any reason why they wouldn't or couldn't be. I think the O-line should be at least a little bit better than last year. Jawan Taylor is an upgrade from Andrew Wiley. Now, Donovan Smith, he's been looking good in his limited looks. In preseason, I think him being next to Joe Thuney is going to be helpful. He seems to be healthy this year, talking about Donovan Smith, and he played injured last year. So, good signs. I think if the O-line is better than last year, it's just fine. Like, you don't need Juju. You know, you can make it happen with some of these other guys. And then, yeah, I mean, I've kind of said it the other day in a video. If Mahomes has time to roast marshmallows back there in the pocket, it's freaking over. I mean, it just is. He already has, if not the best pressure percentage. What is that? What's the phrase? The amount of pressures he gets to the amount he's sacked, like the pressure to sack percentage. It's one of the lowest in the league. He's one of the best at avoiding sacks. He was one of the most pressured QBs, at least with pressures allowed by tackles, last year, and had one of the fewest amount of sacks total by the end of the season. So I think the offense has every, pending everybody, all the main pieces staying healthy. That's always the biggest what if, right, in the NFL. So I don't see why the Chiefs offense can't be as good as last year. You have most of the same pieces. Obviously, like the wide receiver room's a little bit different. You don't have McCole, you don't have Juju. You have 2 new tackles, but most of the other pieces are right there. I think there's another receiver that left too. Drawing a blank off the top of my head, but yeah, I don't see why not. Juju was good, but not critical to keep, said Cora. Historically, guys that skip camp get injured. Yeah, that is a part of my fear. The receivers are better, said Joe. Chris Jones will have half the diamonds when we win this year's Super Bowl ring. That's kind of funny. On the money. Cole, I just had a random thought. There's a chance Chris Jones is watching your podcast right now. I really doubt it. But if so, hi. You can hop in the stream. I'll send you the guest link if you want to hop in and say what's up. Just shoot me a DM on Twitter. They're open. But I really doubt he's watching. If so, come on. He joined Arrowhead Addicts podcast one time after a win when he had COVID. You guys remember that? He hopped in their stream to say what's up. Too Quick agrees with the offensive assessment. Where'd you get that shirt? The Bunker KC. I'm not sponsored by them or nothing. I just walked in there and bought it one day. Yeah, Rasheed is like a younger Juju. Yeah. I think the biggest question for Rashee Rice is his ability to grasp the playbook. He said he's doing a good job at it, and he's fairly comfortable in it, but like you can know the playbook and still not be able to think fast, like, or move fast. You're going to be thinking before you move. So that's like the biggest compliment that most people are giving Sky Moore so far this offseason is he knows the playbook basically through and through, can play whatever receiver position. It doesn't have to think about it. So that's the biggest thing for Rashee Rice. If he can just move fast and doesn't have to think, about the play call and the route. And then he's got to build some chemistry a little bit more with Mahomes because he's new. But yeah, I'm excited for Rashee Rice for sure. What's your take on Danny Shelton? He's a lunatic. Him last preseason game, dude. He jumped into a pile of guys like at full speed, just leaped into them like a kid's jumping into a pile of leaves. Danny Shelton's jumping into a pile of men in a pile. So what do I think about him though? I think he has a chance of possibly making the roster. I know he said it would be a dream come true. He wants to play on a 53-man roster. He still believes he has gas left in the tank. He still believes he has what it takes to contribute. He is down like 12-ish, 10 to 12, 15 pounds from last year via intermittent fasting, Team IF, and then carb cycling. But yeah, I'm rooting for the guy. I don't know if I didn't have him on my initial 53-man roster in June. However, things change. So I'm going to do another 53-man roster projection. I don't know if I'm going to do it this week or wait for the last preseason game. I know cut downs are like a few days after. So if I did it after the third preseason game, I'd have to pretty much drop that bad boy really quick. Wide receivers are good, but with Mahomes makes them great. Yeah, he elevates everybody, I don't remember who said that recently, if it was Matt Nagy or maybe even one of the receivers, somebody in a presser at camp, and it's hard to remember who because like 3 to 4 people speak every day. But they were basically saying, Mahomes makes you better. So it's great to be playing for the Chiefs, because Mahomes will elevate you. Chris Wright with the 8 months. A little late, but made it. What up? Thanks so much. Thanks so much for the 8 months. Chris, 5 gifted right. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you. Cole, do you know if Mahomes is playing against the Browns? I don't think he is. But if anybody has heard otherwise, let me know. I think last year, third preseason game, wasn't that the game they honored Lenny? And he walked out for the choir huddle and then was on the sideline the rest of the game. I think that's about what it's going to look like. But I think Andy Reid will speak, if not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. He might speak Thursday. He's going to speak later this week, and we will hear a little bit more about it. What? Troy is texting me some weird stuff. What is going on? It's Troy's anniversary. So editor Troy, it's his anniversary today. But ironically, when I was doing videography years ago, I filmed his wedding. Because we've been friends for years. And he said the hard drive corrupted. Like they were watching their wedding video tonight for their anniversary and the hard drive corrupted and won't play it. What the heck? That's crazy. What are your expectations for the Chiefs and Jets game? I don't know. That's a little far out for me. I could give you a better answer about a week before. We need to see how both teams are looking. The health of the rooms. Is Chris Jones back? There's a bunch that we need to take a look at. Yep, we have a very solid linebacker core. Truth. Yeah, Buster. Probably top 5 linebacker core on paper. Freaking crazy. So I'm super, super excited about the linebacker room. You know, the addition of Drew Tranquil, I think, was one of the most underrated signings. Was one of the most underrated signings of free agency, in my opinion. Cole, whose stock is higher, Buechele or Gabbert? Man, that's such a tough one. I feel like I'm in a minority, but just watching Gabbert, especially this last game, I think he's got it. I think he's QB2. A couple of things I noticed from Gabbert is he is not afraid to throw a freaking bomb, and he's pretty accurate with it. You know, we'll probably see a little bit more action this Saturday. I almost said Sunday. This Saturday from them, but I think it's Gabbert and then Buechele. Maybe let's do a poll. There's 700 or 600 people in here. Let's just ask it. Whose stock is higher? Buechele or Gabbert? Another thing about Gabbert, guys, and I'm not like a Gabbert apologist. If the Chiefs made Buechele QB2, like, I'm not going to cry. I don't care that much. You know what I mean? But Gabbert is also in a brand new system. So you gotta factor that in a little bit. Like, I understand he had a bit of a rough go at first, preseason game 1. He's in a brand new system. This is Shane Buechele's 3rd year, but game 2 looked a lot better now. Gabbert was also playing with like the 3s or the second team. I don't even remember. It was like a mix of like 2s and 3s. So I still think Gabbert is QB2 and Buechele is QB3, but if it goes the other way, that's fine. I just think Andy Reid's always had a vet in there, and they normally trust the vets to go in there. So I am factoring in a little bit how new everything is to Gabbert, who was signed just this offseason, and it's going to take him a little while to get fully acclimated and just up to speed. But I thought he looked really good. I mean, they both looked really good last game. So if the Chiefs, for whatever reason, because Andy Reid said in his presser it's still a bit of a battle, it's a good competition. If the Chiefs said, hey, Blaine Gabbert is QB3 and Buechele is QB2, I don't know how much that matters because I still think the Chiefs roll with 3 quarterbacks on the roster. But we'll see. I mean, right now you guys are voting. You have Buechele stock higher than Gabbert's. So you have Buechele, 50% of votes right now is Buechele and 42 is Gabbert. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know if I'm in the... I think I might be in a minority opinion when I say my thoughts on that, but that's kind of where I am. Yeah, luckily they're both great. It's a good problem to have. It's a really good problem to have. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I mean, here's the thing. If Gabbert or Buechele has to come out in the regular season, that's never ideal because that means, unless it's in the 4th quarter late, right? It's never ideal that they're out there and Mahomes isn't. So I wouldn't be extremely confident for either of them for a large portion of the season. Now, if anybody can make W's, if anybody can stack W's, it's going to be Andy Reid and his ability to scheme the offense based around that quarterback's strengths and stuff like that. So I just hope that doesn't happen, you know? Mahomes stays healthy all year, let's freaking go. But it's a good problem to have. What's up, Pacey? Gabbert is what, a 7-year vet? We could trade Buechele. We probably wouldn't get as much for Gabbert. I don't know what we would... I don't know. I'm not an expert on like people's trade value. You'd think Gabbert would hold more value than Buechele, but is it because Buechele's younger and a little bit more athletic maybe that he would hold more value? I don't know. I think they roll with all 3. Mr. Random, what's up, man? I know you're getting sick of this whole Chris Jones deal, but do you think Pat might be getting frustrated because of the simple fact he's taking a pay cut? Well, you said major pay cut, so we can sign players and we're not. He's probably a little frustrated, but without knowing the details, like if Chris Jones, like the last report came out, Chris Jones wants to be paid at least as much or more than Aaron Donald. I mean, I understand to an extent, like Mahomes' value, you can't replicate it and you can never pay him enough. And he's making a bunch off the field too. I don't know how worried he is about that, but yeah, he's probably like really hoping a Chris Jones deal gets done. Yeah. Mahomes is 100% now, right? Yeah, Tristan, that's what he said. He said his ankle's 100%, or basically 100%. What's up, Leah Stand-In? I'd look to see one of the two of them in the game for 8 games because we are that far ahead. Oh, I like that. Hot Dog, what up, man? Cole, do you remember when the Bears traded for wide receiver 1 Tom Grossi? You see his contract was a 5-year deal, $669 million. Well, dang, dude. Tom needs to hire me then. What's up, JLF? Where did Gabbert used to play? He was with the Bucks. He was sat under Tom Brady, or alongside. He didn't really sat under. Alongside Tom Brady for a few years. Yeah, Gabbert's in his 30s. He's not as old as Henne. Because Cora said, I thought he was a 13-year vet. He's been in the game for a while. He was with the Jags, wasn't he? Blaine Gabbert, age. He's 33. And he's been in the NFL since 2011. So I actually counted it out. Looks like 11-year career. 3 years with the Jags. 3 years with San Francisco. 3 years with Tampa. He had a year with the Cardinals and a year with Tennessee. Gabbert or Henne? I mean, that's not even an option. Henne's retired. Showcase your yak. Yeah, I saw somewhere that Rashee Rice is leading all pass catchers and yards after the catch. Is that what I saw? This preseason so far? Yo, what up, LBK? What's up, what's up? I feel like a vet that was under TB12 would be trustworthy when under pressure. I think so, but Wangmang said Buechele performed better in the preseason than Gabbert and is more Mahomes-esque than Gabbert. Yeah. But I don't think Andy Reid cares. Because you could have, I guess, said the same last year in some regard. Buechele is more Mahomes-esque than Henne ever was, but that's fine. I think Gabbert ends up being QB2, but hey, if Buechele does, that's great, man. I mean, I don't really care because I just want Mahomes out there and healthy. That's all I really care about. But having valuable QB depth is definitely helpful. Aaron Jacobson with the 10 gifted. Appreciate you, man. How are you doing, bro? David said, Jones doesn't look like he will accept anything less than $30 million. And if the Chiefs, what am I saying? If the Chiefs crack, they'll have almost 30% of their salary cap tied up in 2 players. Just unsustainable. Yeah, it kind of just depends on how the contract is laid out as well. But it would be big. Huh. It would be Terry with the 5 gifted immediately following Aaron's 10. Let's go. If you get a gifted, make sure to say thank you, and you'll have access to the members-only emojis. Members only live stream once a month where we give away a jersey, some signed memorabilia, some coffee. So, heck yeah. If Rashee Rice can get after it while alongside of other wide receivers, the Chiefs will be a top 3 offense. Woo! Like that a lot. I mean, they're typically the best offense in the league, or borderline top 3 in most categories. Cole, anything is possible, man. That's facts. Henne really earned them Super Bowls. Very true. Henne definitely showed up. Trade CEH for a taco stand? Now I want tacos. Greg Bridges said, I'm with you on Gabbert. Yeah, I mean, there's 218 votes. 62% say Buechele has higher stock right now. 38% says Gabbert. If Gabbert looked like that, like he did at the beginning, year 2 in the Chiefs offense, and not just being here a few months, I think I'd be more concerned. But I thought he played pretty well. He had a rocky start game 1. He looked a lot better game 2, but it was against the Cardinals, so take that for what you will. How do you gift members? I think it's, you hit the $sign, then there's like all kinds of stuff, all kinds of options. Like I'm going to gift 5 now. Everyone's gifting 5. I'm going to gift 5. Now I can let my mouth run again? Wait, what happened, doggy? Mahomes wanted Gabbert there because of Brady. Yeah, I think it's a great pickup. Mahomes has already been picking Gabbert's brain about Tom and the way he handles things and goes about things. Any update on the Chris Jones deal? No, not really. I mean, we talked about it a bunch at the beginning of this stream, and I dropped a daily video an hour ago or so. So definitely check those, like go to the beginning of the stream or check out that video if you want more details on it. We talked about it for a little while. Too quick with the membership. Let's go, dude. Appreciate you. What do you think the Chiefs will do since Fortson is out, in your opinion? Well, a couple different things. Matt Bushman could be the next man up. Maybe he fills that role, or the Chiefs end up going with one less tight end for now, and then stashing a couple of those guys on the practice squad and going that route. It just kind of depends on what they end up doing with the 53-man roster initially. You know, they could go, I saw Pete Sweeney say this and others have talked about it, but they could go with one less tight end than you think and then actually cut Blake Bell for a day and re-sign him. Like once they move, let's say, Kadarius Toney to IR for 4 weeks or something. I would think all 3 of those guys, talking Kelsey, Gray, and Bell, are on the roster. Now, Bushman, time will tell. I don't think you can roll. I think you'd have a hard time rolling with 3 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 4 tight ends, and 7 wide receivers. I think something would have to give there. So you're going to have to either roll with 1 less QB, 1 less running back, 1 less tight end, or 6 receivers instead of 7. So one way you could get there is you cut Blake Bell, you roll with 7, then you would move Toney to IR and then re-sign Blake Bell. I'm not an expert on how all those moves can be finagled, but it's because Blake Bell is a vet, so he doesn't have to clear waivers. So that's how some people are surmising that could happen. I'm a little nervous if the Chiefs just roll with 3 running backs because of the health. Like McKinnon's 31. You want to save his snaps. CEH has been hurt almost every year, and then Pacheco's coming off a couple surgeries this offseason and is just now recently cleared for contact. So I'd be a little hesitant to run with less than 4 running backs. You know, maybe 3 tight ends is the way they go, but I'm even hesitant there a little bit because they said that they're going with using tight ends in place of a fullback. So I'm like, geez Louise, it's tough. It's going to be an interesting, like when I put together the last 53-man roster, it's going to be an interesting one. Yo, Antonio with the 5. Raiders look a little better without Carr. I feel like they will be a greater threat this year. How do you feel? I know it's just preseason. I haven't really watched the Raiders, but I still think they're 4th in the AFC West. Jimmy G is a slightly better looking, but way more injury prone Derek Carr. Now, he does have good rapport with Josh McDaniels, but I don't know. I need to see it in the regular season first. Yo, Orion with the 5 gifted, and then FLDB with the 5 gifted. Oh, shoot. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you. How would you feel about getting Jonathan Taylor? Hey, man, I have a pretty good offer on that. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about this. See if I can find it. All right. What do you think about this deal? Trade CEH straight up for Jonathan Taylor and exchange their 2023 cap hits, and it's a deal. Okay, it's not a serious deal. The Chiefs aren't getting that guy. They need to pay Chris Jones if they're going to pay anybody, in my opinion. Jonathan Taylor would be great, just like Dalvin Cook would have been great, just like Josh Jacobs would be great, you know. But here's the thing. If Jonathan Taylor gets traded, it's also going to be to a team that's going to pay him a huge contract. Because that's part of the issue. You know? So I don't think so. Jonathan Taylor is solid, but not for a Chris Jones trade. True. Somebody said Zeke. I think Zeke Elliott, he just signed a one-year deal with the Patriots. So he gone. KT back week 1. I am not that confident he's back for week 1. If he is, I still think he's on a very limited snap count. Basically like when they traded for him and he played 5 snaps. I mean, it wasn't a lot. So I think they're going to ramp him back up. How long do you think it'll take Chris Jones to sign? That's the $1 million question. That is the $1 million question. Is Jody Fortson done as a Chief, asks LS. I think he could be. I think the Chiefs could move on. And it's not out of not appreciating Fortson and stuff like that, but it's the third year in a row he's gone to IR. And the second one, it's season ending. Now, the first time it was his Achilles in week 6 in that Commanders game. I think it was the Commanders game. But he very well could have played his last time in a Chiefs uniform. But we'll see. You know, if they're confident he can come back out there, it's a shoulder injury. It's not like he retore another Achilles or anything like that. So it's just the shoulder. But we'll have to see. If I had to say right now, do I think Fortson's done as a Chief? I would say yeah. But I'm not going to rule it out. I say we let KT rest a couple games. Yeah, that's what I think they would do, is let him rest and then slowly ease him in. What's up, Josiah? Anyone know where he got that Lynn Dawson Mahomes shirt? The Bunker KC. Dude, I swear I need to be sponsored by those guys. I probably sold dozens of these shirts. I just like the shirt. I just bought it one day at the store, or at their store. He's going to Houston? Who's going to Houston? Jonathan Taylor? Or who? Or Jody? You saying Jody? Chris Jones. Chris Jones will sign or won't sign by week 8 guaranteed. That's facts. Oh no, that is so long. Nah, full. Go every offensive snap, get him out there. Nah, he'd get hurt again, Tristan. That's the problem. You gotta ramp him back in. Ramp him back up. What do you think on Sean Payton's offense with the Denver Broncos? Do you think Russell Wilson will play better? I think if Sean Payton can't turn that team around even closer to 500 this year, I don't know who's going to do it. So it's kind of do or die for the Broncos. And I could see them having a better record than the Raiders. We'll see, though. I haven't watched their preseason games. So, let's just see how the regular season starts out. Because we had all the hype last year about the Broncos. They got Russell Wilson. They're going to win the West. The losing streak is going to come to an end. And they were god-awful. It was horrible. It was so bad that you could have put a high school... Okay, that's a little dramatic. I was going to say you could put the Lee Summit High School football team against them and they could win. That would never happen. But they were bad. Their defense was good. Offense, atrocious. I mean, I probably could have played QB. All right, that's a little dramatic too. But it was bad. Bad over there. How could he play worse, Russell Wilson? Yeah, I mean, once if I jumped off my roof and hit the ground, I would bounce off the ground. So even when you hit rock bottom, you can still bounce slightly up. So it's got to be only up from here, right? How many receiving touchdowns will Kadarius Toney have this season? I don't. 5? I mean, hopefully more. I just don't know how many games he's going to play at this point in time. Let's ride. Yes, sir, Kansas Tools. You already know. So far, their D hasn't been very good. So that may be the issue this year. Just from watching that, just from watching preseason, you think they're not playing well? How many until we have the record for most LOL side series? I don't know what that means, David. What does that mean? Just an insight, Broncos have not really played good in preseason at all. I know they blew a couple last-minute wins. Like it was game down to the wire. I know that. Is Remigio's shoulder good? I'm actually worried about Nico Remigio's shoulder. Think about this. When Jody Fortson dislocated his shoulder at camp, it was basically hush-hush, and then they just said one day, very nonchalantly. Actually, they weren't even going to say it. The media asked, and Andy Reid was like, oh yeah, Fortson, we're putting him on IR. He got his shoulder repaired. They weren't even going to say it, dude. So the Chiefs are sneaky quiet about some of their players that are injured. You know, we could find out one day, sometime soon, that the Chiefs make some roster move and Nico's put on IR for the year. Which, if his shoulder is bad enough, I actually wouldn't mind it because you could stash him like they stashed Justin Ross last year. But we'll see. No update on his shoulder right now, I'll tell you that. You know, all the fans in Denver always blame their quarterbacks, and their owner doesn't give a crap about a quarterback's health either. Hey, man, Russell Wilson's pretty cringe, but like, you know, I don't know. I wish him the best, but I still think they still finish around 500. I hope the losing streak continues and the Chiefs have 17 in a row. I'll tell you that. LBK said, if Chris Jones doesn't take that big of a hit for us to the salary cap, what do you think is the likelihood of us signing a big name running back? Pretty small. I don't think the Chiefs go and get another running back. Not a big name. Stewart with the first ever super chat. Thanks for the 2-bomb, bro. Thank you for the 2-bomb. Somebody said Pat who?
Pat who?
Pat Mahomes.
Pat who?
Pat Mahomes.
Pat who?
Pat Mahomes.
Pat who?
Pat Mahomes.
Oh, I don't think that's ever going to get old. Yo, what's up, Zax? How are you doing, bro? This Fez said, as a Chiefs fan, I feel like this year is about to be a total disaster with the Chris Jones situation and lack of talent. It almost feels like Mahomes doesn't have any help. I'm more worried about the defensive side of the ball with no Chris Jones than the offense. I think the offense is fine. I think the offense is fine as long as Travis Kelce is around. You know, if there's no Kelce, I do think you need to go out and get some, a weapon or two, like maybe higher profile weapons than, but they have Travis Kelce. They have the best tight end in the NFL, one of the greatest pass catchers in recent history. I mean, he's like top 5 in most receiver stats over the last 5 years. So you can't forget about Travis Kelce and the importance there. They also upgraded their O-line, which I think is an underrated. I mean, on paper, they upgraded their O-line. I think they really did. But on paper, you upgrade your O-line. That's just spells better things for Patrick Mahomes. Tristan, thanks for hanging out, brother. Good to see you. What do you think the odds that the Chiefs get Jonathan Taylor? Like 0. This is random. What's your opinion on the Lions? No, I think they take a step up this year. I mean, I hope they lose week 1, but yeah, I think they got good things going for them. Hopefully that defense can step up this year. If Snead doesn't play, will he be signed? Like re-signed? Because he's on a contract year? I don't know. Probably not. On the flip side, if Snead doesn't play much this year, it could hurt his value in free agency, and maybe he does re-sign with the Chiefs. But, I think potentially Snead could be a Charvarius Ward type situation where Ward walks in free agency but gets a pretty big bag. I think Jawan Taylor is better than Wiley. Yeah. Much respect to Andrew Wiley, man. He did some good things for us. So it's no disrespect to him. Wait, Kelsey's leaving? No Kelsey? No, I'm just saying when Kelsey leaves or he retires. Like, it's going to be some time from now. Now, he ain't leaving. No. I've seen some other guys posting stuff saying they were going to slack offensively, but I don't think they've been paying attention. Yeah, who's saying that, though? I just don't think that's going to happen. Maybe they're not number one in every category and Mahomes throws for 5,300 yards and 40-something TDs again. Like, okay, maybe it looks a little bit different, but shoot, there's other ways. Like, if the defense takes a step up, the offense doesn't have to carry as heavy. There's some ways that it can play out differently this year, but I still think with Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, and the O-line they got, as long as everybody's health pretty much holds up for the most part, I don't see why they're not one of the best offenses in the NFL, top 3 in most categories. I'm prepared to just trade Chris Jones, says Cordarius. He honestly appears to be selfish in another Tyreek issue. Yeah, we'll have to see, man. I think it's a little late to trade him right now. I really think you should have done that before the draft, but Ross versus Rice, who's better? Ask me after this season. They both are intriguing. Talking about Justin Ross and Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is a rookie. I'm curious to see how he picks everything up and how fast he develops that rapport with Mahomes and how much Andy Reid even plays him in the offense. Justin Ross is basically year 2 mentally. He went on IR and spent all last year on IR. So he's probably has a little bit of an advantage there over Rashee Rice in that regard because he should know the playbook pretty much through and through. But I don't know if it's a matter of who's better. They're kind of a little bit different style receivers. Justin Ross is 6'4", kind of built like MVS. Rashee Rice, 6'1". He's like they both have some similarities, so I don't know. We'll see. Speedy said, Justin Ross is my standout receiver. Love it. OSNY with the membership. Appreciate you, bro. And then Jonathan Glenn with the 2 months. Jones is gearing up to be the league's best defensive tackle bag getter. As a fellow bagger getter, I know Cole can relate. Jones is gearing up to be the league's best defensive tackle bag getter. Hey, man, he's trying to get that money. Is ISM getting cut? I don't have him on the 53 at the moment. Some people are saying that Amir Smith-Marset could sneak in there as wide receiver 7. My question is, well, whose place is he gonna take? So I don't think he takes Justin Ross's at this point in time. Somebody in the comments yesterday, 2 days ago, they basically bet me their entire life savings that Justin Ross wasn't going to make the roster, and they weren't trolling. They were dead serious. I think Justin Ross makes the roster. Roster. R-O-S-S-T-E-R. Roster. So I don't think Amir Smith makes it at this point in time. Now, we'll see, but I don't think so. Have you thought about shaving the beard? No. Jones doesn't have the endorsements to be able to take less. Yeah, he makes way less in endorsements than, I think, like Forbes said he made like $500,000 last year compared to Kelsey and Mahomes, who made way more than that. Elizabeth Reed with the 100 bomb, ready to get this season started and Chris Jones' situation resolved one way or another. Good night, Chiefs Kingdom. Elizabeth, so good to see you. Thanks for the 100 bomb. Holy smokes. Yeah, I hope the Chris Jones situation gets resolved sooner than later would be preferable. But shoot, appreciate the 100. Hope you have a great night. And thanks for the support as always. See the E's in chat. Everybody going nuts with the E's. Jones is holding out until week 8 because he can afford it. I think he's a bit tongue in cheek when he says that. Like, he could hold out till week 8. I hope it doesn't come to that though. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's made enough money in his career, like he could hold out that long, but he'd be missing out on quite a bit. Mark Hady? Mark Hady, I think. Hopefully that's right. Let me know. Thanks for the membership, bro. Let's go. What do you think about the new XFL receiver? So the new XFL receiver they just signed, his name actually escapes me, but I covered him yesterday. It was, what's his freaking name? Is it Duran? We signed somebody recently from the USFL, I thought, or worked him out. What's this freaking guy's name? I put it in yesterday's script. Here it is. Juwan Green. Okay. So it's XFL standout Juwan Green. I mean, he was tied for the second most tackles in the XFL, which is, or it's not tackles, second most touchdowns. He had 6, which is actually the second most. It was like tied for second. I don't know. I think they're stacking up depth. Think about it, man. Not all these receivers are going to clear waivers. Like if Amir Smith-Marset doesn't make the 53, he might not clear waivers. So the Chiefs need to continue stacking up their wide receiver depth, seeing who they have and who the best people are. Like, they want, you know, if some of their better guys that don't make the roster, best guys, they don't make the 53, they get claimed off waivers on after cutdowns. Like, they got to have some talent still in their on their practice squad that they think they can continue growing and developing. So, yeah, they're just stacking depth. And, I mean, he's a former NFL player. So, Juwan Green. He was a UDFA after the 2020 draft. Short stints with the Lions and the Titans, but he spent a year with the Falcons on their practice squad. So we'll see. If the Chiefs are high on him and they think, you know, if some of these other guys get claimed off waivers, they can stash him on the practice squad and raise him up, then, you know, we could see that. But I don't think he's going to be like a crazy contributor from like now. I don't think he's going to make the 53 or anything crazy like that. Old Navy with the 5. Your 53 man is tough. So many great choices. Dude, it really is, Old Navy. Oh, it's so tough, man. I think this year's 53 is harder than last, in my opinion. Are you worried about re-signing McKinnon next season? I'm not even really thinking about that because you got to get through this season. And he's going to be on, like, he's at the age now, he's like 31, where, you know, he's going to go on a year-to-year deal, and who knows how much longer he's going to play. Cordarius said they should make a rule if you sit out, you face a year ban. Well, I mean, they got rules in place. You're losing out on money every game, and then if you sit out for a certain amount of the season, it doesn't count as an accrued season, and you'd still be under contract, I believe, the next year if he sits out more than 8 games. Or 7, 8 games, whatever it is. Yeah, McKinnon is, I think he's 31, isn't he? He's either 30 or 31. Jerick McKinnon is 31. He turned 31 in May. Yeah. Caesar, thanks for the kind words. Keep up the good work, man. Been watching you for a while. Thanks, man. I'm glad you're here, bro. I went to Chipotle the other day, and this guy was like, man, he's like, you must live around here. He's like, I saw you at Price Chopper, too. Not Price Chopper, Hy-Vee. It's just a guy that recognized me from the YouTube channel. So shout outs to him. I forgot his name. I suck at names. I'm so terrible at it. But he said he would say hi sometime in chat. I don't know why I said that. What connected me to that? I have a squirrel brain, so who knows? Michael, I appreciate the kind words. He does. He seems younger than 31. He's got like a youthful demeanor, and he's pretty funny and energetic. Talking about Jerick McKinnon. Yo, Jason with the 20 bomb. Appreciate that, man. Just got in, so hopefully you didn't talk about this. But if Frank Clark gets cut by Denver, should we re-sign him? On a vet min deal? Yup. Well, he's not going to... Whoa, what am I missing? Do we think Frank Clark's going to be cut by the Broncos? Surely not, right?
Be the Grim Reaper. And
Hey, man, if they cut him, I'd take him back on a vet min deal. Let's go. You think the Ravens will win their division? I don't know. I think they're going to make their playoff team with the healthy Lamar. So, let's see. Could the Ravens win their division? I won't spend a lot of time on this, but you got the Ravens, Bengals, Browns, and Steelers. I mean, you're going to have to beat the Bengals. So, if you can do that, yes. That's going to be the key, though. That's going to be the major key. Thanks for the 20 bomb again, man. Aaron with the 10 gifted. I had a bunch of 5 gifted earlier. Elizabeth with the 100 bomb. Appreciate you guys, man. All the support. You're missing something, Cole? What am I missing? What am I missing? You just ate a Sonic burger? Dude, Sonic burgers are pretty good. They're better than Whataburger, but Whataburger's not that good. So, we've already talked about this a bunch on the channel. I kind of have my burger joints in like tiers. Like, Sonic's like fast food, so is Whataburger. Like, whatever. I'd rather have like Culver's or Five Guys, or go to like a bar and grill and get a burger. Like 3rd Street Social burgers are good. I'd rather grill a burger at home. So I'm not really that high on Sonic, but Whataburger is not good, dude. The fact that Chris Jones and the Chiefs tried to get a deal done and Chris Jones declined scares me. They definitely offered him a deal, but it wasn't enough. And that's per the words of Ian Rappaport. What topic are we on now? Oh, whatever you guys ask. What are your thoughts on Justin Fields? He should. I hope he takes a step up, man. What do you think Chris Jones' trade value is? I don't know. And which player would you target? The problem is the season is now. So I don't know what his trade value is now. If you would have asked me before the draft, probably would have been a different story. I mean, you could probably get a few picks from him, but some people are making a good point. Why trade for Chris Jones right now if he's going to be a free agent next year? Well, okay. Touche. What do you think of Clyde Edwards-Helaire for Jonathan Taylor and picks? I mean, the problem is Jonathan Taylor wants so much money. The Chiefs aren't going to pay that guy. They have a 7th round running back that just helped them win the Super Bowl. That's the only problem that I see with that. What are your AFC West predictions? I mean, right now, Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders. What do you think we could get from the Bears in a Chris Jones trade? I have no idea off the top of my head. Love a burger from Buches in Colombia. I never had that. I have to try it. Did y'all see what happened to Jason Kelsey? No. What happened to Jason Kelsey? Why you say it like that? What happened? What did I miss? Is he all right? Oh, there was a brawl. Ooh, there was a brawl today?
Dominate every time we touch the field, baby. We just do what we
The brawl start. Okay. Where's the video? Is it on video? Jason Kelsey was apologetic after blindsiding Zaire Franklin in a joint practice between the Eagles and Colts. He decleated a Colts defender after he hit Kenny Gainwell late. Benches cleared. Practice over. Jason apologized, said he shouldn't have done that. Zaire Franklin on Jason Kelsey said, thought the OGs would look me in the eye before hitting me, but it's all good. Oh, it's not on film? Jason Kelsey said he needs to keep his composure and said that shouldn't have happened. Him going after the Colts after seeing a few of his teammates get hit, that was not okay. That was unacceptable from me. Huh. I did not see that today. I don't know how I missed that. The heck? Did you expect O'Malley to finish Aljo or Aljamain Sterling? Okay. The shortened name really threw me off. I was rooting for O'Malley, but I wasn't sure how it was gonna go. I was a little afraid if things went to the ground, how it'd end up. But dude, that round 2, dude, timing was perfect. Precision. I mean, it was freaking fantastic. LBK, all right, Cole, gotta go to bed. Oh, thanks for hanging out, man. Yeah, another brawl. Crazy, huh? Couldn't find a video. I don't believe it was released. Dang. Yeah, the bench is cleared and a brawl started. What's up with the Kelsey brothers hitting people before the season starts? Do you play poker? No. Not really. The podcast is getting to them. You think so? What week you think Tony will be back? I mean, if I had to I think even if Tony's not put on IR, he's a healthy scratch for the first couple weeks. Obviously, initial reports said week 1 he could be back. However, the Chiefs assistant GM just spoke about it and said they are not going to rush him out there, and they're going to make sure he's good to go before they put him back out there on the field. I think Matt Nagy said the same thing. KT's trying his best to get back, but ultimately Brett Veach and Andy Reid will make the decision, and they'll roll with whoever's out there. But they'll have a game plan for if Tony's ready, and then one if he's not. Why do teams do joint practices? Bro, I don't know. That's why Andy Reid doesn't do them. Is Brady announcing this year? I don't think so. I think next year for commentating. I think next year. Now I'm thinking those Kelsey boys beat you down, then apologized. Who, me? Wait. What happened? Andrew said, at what point do we take Chris Jones' actions as a slap in the face to the fans as opposed to it being a justifiable reason to continue holding out? I think sometimes as fans we are too emotionally invested. It's because we love the team. We want to see them win. We love the players. You know, we want to see the guys stick together. Like Chris Jones, awesome, best DT in the game right now. Like, we're just emotionally invested. I wouldn't take it as a slap in the face to the fans. I kind of wish he would ease up on the trolling on social media. Like, I thought about the presser last year that Chris Jones spoke to the media, and it was after like Colin Saunders was going at it with people, and Chris Jones said, "Stay off Twitter, bro." He's like, "Just stay off Twitter." I kind of wish he would heed his own advice a little bit, but negotiations might not be going the way he's wanting, and he's trying to do what he can there. I don't know. Jonathan with a 2. Tall ball lineup. Ross, Rice, MVS, and Kelsey. Yeah, I think Rice is the shortest of all those guys. I think Justin Ross is 6'4". Kelsey is 6'4".
Broncos country.
MVS is 6'4". How tall is Travis Kelsey? Travis Kelsey is 6'5". I think MVS is 6'4". I know Justin Ross is 6'4". Rashee Rice is 6'1", but he's got a 41-inch vertical. So you can include him with the tall guys. Yeah, he's 6'1", but a 41-inch vertical. That'll be all right. The trolling is making it cringy. I think it's a bit much at this point, yeah, sadly. If we lose Chris Jones, says Torrance, we're in trouble. This is not like letting Tyreek Hill go. Yeah, I talked about this at the beginning of the stream. You know, when Tyreek Hill was traded, he was the 3rd best player on the offense after Kelsey and Mahomes, obviously. And then Chris Jones, there's nobody more important on defense than Chris Jones, right? Kelsey is a chump. I don't know about all that, but, you know, tempers flare. I trained in Taekwondo for 12 years, dude. So, like, there were times training you'd get popped or something would happen, and, dude, you could train all you want, the discipline and self-control, and like, that was the main emphasis of martial arts training, but, like, you know, if you got popped in the face, pissed you off, dude. So, I mean, sometimes tempers flare and adrenaline kicks in. You know, it's a violent sport. I'm talking about football now. It's a violent sport, man. People do stuff in the heat of the moment that they wish they didn't do. Hey, what's the pads on top of the helmets during training camp? I don't know what they're actually called, but it's supposedly to help prevent head injuries. And there's like some studies. There's not like in-depth, like they don't have longevity of the studies yet, but the early studies show that it decreases the risk of concussions. Justin Watson is 6'3". He's 6'3"? He's 6'2", according to Google, so it could be 6'3". Let's see, Justin Watson vertical. Justin Watson's vertical. Dang it. Where is it? Yo. Hey, why Justin Watson? Why does he in this picture look like he's a door-to-door salesman? Like he looks like he's gonna come to your door and try to sell you some solar panels or something. Oh yeah, his vertical is 40. That's crazy. All right, put Justin Watson in there too then, I guess. That's nuts.
Every time we touch the field, baby. We just do what we do.
Jay Watt dropping leaflets. I'd buy a fridge from that guy. Jonathan Glenn with another 2 bomb said Justin Watson is 6 foot mid. I think he plays his role well. I don't know why. I know he had some tough drops late in the season, but outside of that, I'm like, I don't know why the Kingdom doesn't like the guy so much. He plays his role well. He's like he's like a depth piece. He's like I don't know, like a Byron Pringle. It's just a depth piece. G-Dog, you out of here? Watson looks like a news anchor. Hey, man. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You got the suit on. You got the little faux hawk or whatever that thing is. Sandman said Watson run good routes. I can't talk. Good, yeah, he said goods routes, but it's good routes and blocks well. Yeah. Tony or Pickens? I mean, I'd take George Pickens. Now, a healthy Tony versus Pickens in this offense, I'm fine with Tony. But, you know, keeping him on the field's like the biggest thing. Meg, what's up? Cole, any sense to real feelings about Jones in the locker room? Officially claim no hard feelings, but really? In the locker room? I mean, I think most of the players, more than any of us, know that it's a business and they'll never fault another guy for trying to get his bag. But with them being gone all of training camp, you know, I mean, probably in the back of some of their heads, they're like, dang, man, I kind of hope he shows up soon, you know. They know his importance on the team, and I don't know if there's any like hard feelings from the players towards him. Maybe the coaches are getting more frustrated than the players. But we'll see. It's really hard to tell because, yeah, they keep a pretty on the at the podium, at the presser. They always just say, I let Chris Jones handle his business. I'm just here to work on me and be the best player I can be. Dude, I've listened to so many pressers now. I could go in there and I could literally give a nice generic answer for every question the media asks. Like, they do it well, but it's just like a little bit of training there. What's your Super Bowl prediction? What's up, Lil J's? Or Jay-Z, Lil Jay-Z, maybe? Super Bowl prediction. I mean, if it's not the Chiefs, then, you know, pick your poison. It could be the Bengals that make it from the AFC. I hope not. But they're, you know, got a good team. The Bills, maybe less likely than the Bengals, but got to throw them out there. The Jags are on the rise. You've got the Ravens. There's some teams that could get there. I hope it's the Chiefs. And then on the NFC, probably the Eagles or the Niners or 2 of them. I mean, I guess you can't rule out the Jets yet in the AFC, but I need to see them perform first. Aaron Rodgers, he hasn't won. Yeah, he's struggled in the postseason. So since winning his Super Bowl. Jones till week 8? Yeah, I hope not. Did you let the dogs out? I did not. Because I don't even know who. Okay, let the dogs. I don't know. I feel like most players understand the business side. That being said, I'm really sad to see the missed potential of having Chris Jones in training camp. Yeah, teaching the young guys, and then it's not even just that. It's building chemistry with the young guys because they're doing a lot of stunts, and they're using Chris Jones to do it because he's drawing double teams and all kinds of stuff. So he's gonna show up, and it's gonna take a little while to connect and get everything rolling. I don't know. I hope he shows up sooner than later, man. Honestly, I hope I go to Twitter right now and he signed a deal. I'm looking. Nope, no deal. Dang it. Why the Jay Watt hate just because he could be on The Bachelor? No, I'm not hating on him. I just, that was his draft photo, and I was like, why does this guy look like he could sell you solar panels door to door? No, I don't have any issues with Justin Watson. I have him making the roster. I think he plays his role well. I think it's fine. Taze Vibes. Cole, you represent the Kansas City man well. Corky, charming, passionate, Murica. I appreciate you, man. I'm not perfect, but I try to have at least just do the best job I can providing you guys content for the Chiefs, for Chiefs news and stuff. So I appreciate the kind words. Players always say to the media what they're supposed to, but people are people, yeah, and emotions are emotions, and there will be a sense of abandonment from players and fans if Chris Jones holds out. I agree to some extent for sure. Who are the Bengals? I mean, the team that loves their regular season wins. I don't know. That team. Why is he saying week 8? Is there some significance to that date? Yeah, Ezra, if he holds out longer than that, he wouldn't have an accrued season under his belt, and he would still be under contract in Kansas City next year. I believe is how it works. Yeah, Spags talked about the D-line today in the press conference. He said that's the biggest question mark right now. Basically, it's the hardest thing to figure out with Chris Jones not there, and there's missed time that he has with the guys, and yeah, there's a bunch of stuff there. Game speed he's missing out on. Even not, playing in the little bit of preseason that he would have played in. Calvin said, I can't believe Jones isn't showing up. He could go down as the greatest Chiefs defensive lineman. He's definitely up there. Thank you for the IG content. When you say IG, you mean Instagram? If so, you're welcome. It's just short form content, but heck yeah. Tom, I wake up every day hoping Chris Jones has signed. Do it. Do it, Kels. Please do it. Do it, Chris. Cole, I can't with the Chris Jones stuff anymore. Can we please get this done? Hey, man, I don't have any control of that, but I'm on board with you. Sandman, been fun. Unlike Chris, I can't afford to not go to work tomorrow. Have a great night. Sandman, good to see you, bro. That's like all of us. That's like most of us, rather. Only difference between 18 and now, we don't have Tyreek to blow up secondaries and dropping 35 points per game. Yeah, what did the Chiefs average last year per game, though? Because I could definitely see it staying around there. Let's go Pro Football. Go Pro Football Reference Chiefs. What did they average per game? Yeah, let's go 2022. Let's see. Is this the Chiefs? Okay. Where do I see this? It's been a while since I've been here looking at these stats on a season. Where did they freaking average? I want points. Anybody know what the Chiefs average points per game? That's what I want to see. I thought there was a quick way to see it on Pro Football Reference, but I don't think there is. Or I'm just not. Oh, scoring total. Yeah, somebody let me know. I thought I could find it really quickly on here, but maybe I can't. Tom with another 2. If Chris Jones doesn't sign, who would you try to get? I mean, at this point in time, you're kind of SOL. I mean, you could pick up a veteran like Carlos Dunlap, which I still think is a good idea, but most of those guys have been signed. I mean, Justin Houston signed, Jadeveon Clowney signed. Yeah, most of them are gone. Now, you could try to make some trades, but dude, this late, there might be some trade deadline candidates, but I don't know. I don't know who that is off the top of my head. You're rooting for, yeah, Keandre Coburn. Yes, sir. He seems like such a genuine dude. I don't have to work. I'm on vacation for the week. Nice. Race fan, let's go. K. Wayne said, you are at work, Cole. I mean, very true. That's very true. We working. 28 points per game, 30. Last year, 31. Where are you guys seeing that? What are you using for that? And I swear it used to just be right here. Team stats and rankings. I mean, their league rank offense was first in points scored by the team. They scored 496. Hey, Siri. What's 496 divided by 17?
496 divided by 17 is approximately 29.1764.
29.1764 points per game. I guess I just needed to do some math. We don't win AFC or Super Bowl if we don't have Chris Jones. You're talking about last year or this year? I mean, it's definitely harder without Chris Jones on the team. That is for sure. It's just weird. Like 2 weeks ago, he told somebody on Twitter, I'm still under contract for this year, so let's just have a great year and then see how the future... I'm not a fortune teller, basically, so let's see I don't know what the future holds, but let's just enjoy this year. So you go from saying that to saying what he said. That's why I'm like, he's got to be trolling a little bit, man, right? Right? Velt, good hanging out with you, man. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you, bro. 29.2. There it is, Patricia. 29.2. Google it. I was trying using Pro Football Reference, and it worked, but I actually, they didn't have it averaged out for me. I had to do the math. Chiefs signed a top XFL receiver. Yeah, they did. Yeah, he's one of the leading touchdown. He was tied for second most receiving touchdowns in the league, which was 6. And there was like 3 or 4 people tied for that. But you think Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill trio underachieved? I mean, they made it to 2 Super Bowls together. They won 1. Let's see, Mahomes since 2018. I mean, every year they were together, they went to the AFC Championship. I don't know, it was a pretty good run. I think it pissed Mahomes off because supposedly when Mahomes re-upped, he left some on the table for Chris Jones. Well, he did, and Chris Jones signed. So that deal's already done for Chris, though. So he left some on the table for Chris Jones, and Chris Jones got an extension done as well. But now we're talking about the next deal. Can't tell Chris Jones or any D-line player production off sacks alone. Yep, exactly. He gets doubled all the time, still gets lots of pressures. He was great against the run last year. He's opening... Yeah, I talked about this a little bit earlier. I agree with you. Who said that? Yeah, I agree with you, Middle Age. Yeah, because he's pulling double teams and he's allowing other guys to get pressure on the QB and stuff. So, yeah, I agree with you. Noreen, thanks for the membership. Let's go. We understand signing a top XFL players like being the Whataburger of burgers. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's gonna like make the 53 or anything like that. Could be a guy you develop on the practice squad. You know, if some of the guys you liked, like Amir Smith-Marset or Cornell Powell or something, got claimed off waivers. So they're just stacking bodies and seeing what they got. I mean, is it Jawan Green? Is that his name? Yeah, he was a UDFA in 2020 in the NFL and spent some time on the practice squads. So nothing too crazy. Paul said, if the Chiefs are offering $28 million a year for 4 years and he's not biting, then I'm done with him. If Casey isn't offering this, they're foolish and cheap. I wish I knew what Casey was offering. Me too, man. That would be pretty freaking helpful. Yeah, me too. I want to know. Alrighty then. Do any of y'all collect starting lineups from back in the 90s? No, I don't have any of those. Smiley, thanks for hanging out, man. Hope your back's doing well. Recovering from that surgery. Chris Jones seems spiteful at this point. I think he's trolling a little. I mean, it's a little over the top. I hope he doesn't hold out till week 8. Jeez Louise. Please, God, no. Casey had to be offering between 26 to 28, but it comes down to the guaranteed. Yeah, facts. It comes down to guaranteed number of years, the average. But I think at the end of the day, guarantees might be the most important because you can dress up contracts to look like whatever, but if the guarantees aren't there, like what does that matter? It's fake money. And if I was in the NFL, I'd take $30 million for just 1 year. Bro, 1 year? Dog, I'd go get, yeah, for $30 million? Shoot. Cole was a baby in the 90s. I was born in 91. So if Mahomes is number 1 and Dawson is number 2, who was the third best QB of all time, I'd pick Montana. Well, when I built my my Chiefs roster using all the All-Stars from past and present, I put Lenny on there as number 2 only because of the contributions he did for the kingdom. Like, he took them to 2 Super Bowls and all that. But Montana was a dog. So I would have had him as QB3, but he probably should have been QB2. But sometimes I let my... I'm a Chiefs fan, so I'm like, well, who impacted the Chiefs more when they were here? You know what I mean? So that's why I went with that. Play Bolts fam soundbite. Doesn't seem to be as much cringe coming from Wilson this year. Kind of sad. Yeah, they changed their didn't they change their, like, it's not Let's Ride anymore. It's something else. It's like Be Great or something. What is it? It's not Be Great. Broncos' new motto. The Broncos' new motto is uncommon. You read that right. Just uncommon. The team has printed shirts and have been wearing them at press conferences. Why this slogan? It means winning football in the National Football League is uncommon. It's hard to do. It's why there's not a lot of winners. There's only one Super Bowl champ. That sucks. I mean, they're basically saying they don't know how to win anymore. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But that's a weird motto. Uncommon. Hey, what do you guys think the Broncos are going to do this? How are they going to do this season? That'd be pretty uncommon. What does it even mean? Winning as a Bolt is uncommon for sure. Where is my Bolts fam? Let's ride. Is that video around here somewhere? Oh, here it is.
Bolt fam. Let's ride. Bolt fam. Let's ride.
Literally half the teams win every week. True, but I think they're talking about, seems like they're talking about like the Super Bowl. Like only one team wins at the end. You ever met Mahomes? I have not. I've met Brittany Mahomes before they were married. I told this story last week, I think, but I did a video. I was a videographer hired to do a promo video for, what's the store's name? They open their Plaza location and they sell leggings, basically. What is that store? That's what I filmed, and she was working there at the time. She just worked there as an employee, and I don't even remember what it's called. Lululemon. Jeez Louise. Yeah, Lululemon. That's what it was. Thank you. Yeah, I met her there. She was really nice. Eric Wahlberg. Where's Eric Wahlberg? That'd been funny if he just popped up. Uncommonly bad. That's horrible. I think we still win the division without Chris Jones. Yeah, I think the Chiefs still have a winning record. I just think it's going to be a much harder fight. I mean, the offense is going to have to they're going to have to go nuts. Finish this sentence. Broncos are uncommon. uncommon, unmotivational, uninspiring. Noreen said, I'm telling y'all, no Chris Jones, and we might have the 18 defense with a better linebacker core. Mahomes will have to, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mahomes will have to carry. That's for sure. Undone. Unsuccessful in recent years. They've had success before, obviously. Unsuccessful. Recently unsuccessful. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. I was watching your video about the Chiefs signing the XFL player, then saw you were live streaming. What's up, Nathan? If the Chiefs go with 7 receivers, what is your projection? MVS, Kadarius Toney, Rashee Rice, Sky Moore, Richie James, Justin Watson, Justin Ross. That's my 7 right now. Yeah. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Unintelligent. Unbelievable. Unwinnable. Ooh. Russell Wilson's not the answer you're looking for? Yeah, probably not. We need to see how he does this season, but I'm not sure. 42 points a game? Well, they definitely got to score 30 a game. 30, 35 a game. Loving the Ross hype? Yeah, man. I mean, I'm pretty transparent about my thought process. I try to think as logically and realistic as I can, and I didn't have him on the initial 53 at the beginning of June. Basically just with the caveat that I thought the Chiefs were going to roll with 6 receivers, but also just wanted to see how Justin Ross looked at camp and in preseason games. But at about day 3 into training camp, I was like, yeah, I think Justin Ross is on the roster. So I'm totally fine to like change. And that was the thing. Like when you make a 53-man roster projection in June, things are going to change. Nazee's not on there. He's on IR. I had Jody Fortson on there. He's on IR. So things change. I'm rooting for him, man. Adam says Ross is a bum. I guess we'll see. The whole CJ drama just leaves a bad taste in the mouth for us fans. Yeah, it's getting a little much. Do you think Kelsey can keep the 1,000-yard streak going if there are too many good receivers? Yeah, I think Kelsey gets 1,000. Yeah, I think so. Naughty looks huge and slow. I need to go back and rewatch some of his reps. If Mahomes left money on the table, what's taking Veach so long to sign Chris Jones? Might be just how much Chris Jones wants. I don't know. I mean, they can't. I mean, I jokingly said blank check, but not really. Like, you can't pay him more than Aaron Donald. That makes no sense. That's so much money. Brandon said, I think Chris Jones making a mistake toying around like this. Mahomes took pay cut. Travis the same. They doing it for the team. Yeah, somebody else brought up a good point, and it's why Chris Jones is playing a bit more hardball. He makes very little money off the field in endorsements. Meanwhile, Kelsey and Mahomes make a lot off the field in endorsements. Are they doing any stadium upgrades? They have to do stadium upgrades loaded hot for FIFA, for World Cup. Yeah. So there's not enough time to even build a new stadium anyway, and they're still under lease till, is it 2029, 2031? They're under lease for a little while. They could break it, I guess, but no, there's no talk at this point in time of building a new stadium that I know of. Shane, you're the freaking GOAT. Appreciate it, man. Chiefs think everyone needs to take less money? No, I mean, I'm all about players getting their bag, but you got to balance it between how much a player is getting paid and having some around for others, right? So, it's definitely tough because you got to think too. There's I don't even know if you're a Chiefs fan, to be honest, but so you may not care. But yeah, there's other players I got to think about. You got to think about Creed Humphrey in the near future. You got to think about Trey Smith, perhaps, maybe Nick Bolton, Willie Gay's on a contract year, Snead contract year, Chris Jones contract year. You can't pay everybody top dollar, even though probably Mahomes, Kelsey, and Chris Jones all deserve it. Cole, did you know Lynn Dawson had 2 perfect passer rating games. Mahomes hasn't had 1 yet. He's had 2? I just did a YouTube short on the perfect passer rating games. It was there was 3 Chiefs quarterbacks that have had 1. It was Lynn Dawson. It was Trent Green and Alex Smith. I think were the 3. Tom with the 5. Do you see us back to scoring more with Nagy back at OC, even without Tyreek? Wasn't Nagy the OC when Mahomes had his first MVP season? No. Didn't Nagy leave after 2017? I think he was a Bears coach in, yeah, he was a Bears head coach in 18. So no. Bieniemy, I believe. The whole time Mahomes was a QB was the OC. As soon as Nagy left, it was Bieniemy. Nagy was the head coach for the Bears from 18 to 21. 4 years, and he had a record of 34-31. Just over 500. No, I think Andy Reid calls the shots. And I mean, Matt Nagy, basically they come up with the pool of plays. Matt Nagy, like they got some order. Matt Nagy kind of has freedom to call them, but Andy Reid can override him at any time. I mean, Matt Nagy, like a couple weeks ago in his presser, said Andy Reid runs the show. Like he literally just straight up said that. So no, I think they stay top 3 offense in the NFL, and it doesn't matter if it's Nagy or EB to some extent, in my opinion. No disrespect to EB because I'm rooting for him in Washington, and hopefully he gets a head coaching shot here in the near future. But yeah, Andy Reid runs it, man. Andy Reid is that dude. Yes, sir. Josh Fan, what up, man? What's up, dude? I've been live since 8. I'm seeing double. I'm seeing double on the screen. How are you, Josh? Team McCoy in here. What's up, bro? Bichelle went 10 for 10, but he didn't have a perfect passer rating. Freaking Blaine Gabbert went 7 for 8 and had the 158.3 or whatever it is. What's up, Cole? Nice name. 8 weeks, huh? I mean, I hope not. I hope it's just a little bit of trolling. Like, to some extent. What's up, Ray? So long as you've streamed for? 6-7 hours. I think the Super Bowl stream was like 6 or 7 hours. That was long. I've done some of these Tuesday night ones. I've gone till like midnight. I remember one time I was about to get off, and people like told me go make a pizza or order a pizza or something, and so I stayed up and then ordered the pizza and then ate that and hung out. I was also drinking that night. I had like a couple Tank 7s. I was like, yeah, let's get some pizza. I've only had water tonight. Cole is a streaming god. I don't know about that, but we put up some we stream for a couple hours every shot, pretty much. Smith Marissa? Oh, Smith Marset. Is that what you're talking about? Smith Marset, yeah. Thought your wife made that pizza? There's been a couple streams where I thought one time we ordered pizza and we got it here. Almost positive that was one time, but Danny also made some before. Maybe she did just make it. I'm a little hazy. What's up, JJ Hackett? JJ Hackett in the house. Was it the Super Bowl? That was probably the longest stream, yeah. If you had to pick a preseason MVP, who would it be? I mean, dang, that's pretty tough. Chamari Connor is a standout for me on defense, just with him moving all over the place, some of the pressures. He didn't grade out the best last game, but from a pass rush perspective, impressive. Overshot some of it, but I mean, dude, Rashee Rice has got to be up there. Amir Smith-Marset. Preseason MVP. I don't know if I have one. Shane Buechele. Could he be that? He's got to be up there. One of those guys, probably. Who is yours? Just realize how tough the Bills' schedule really is. I haven't looked. Not at the Bills. Do you think the Bills will get through their playoff choke? I mean, hope not. I like it when the Chiefs win in the postseason. Come on now. You think the Bengals are your biggest threat? Yeah. I think they're one of the biggest threats. Yeah, in the AFC, for sure. They're a good team. Craving some Char-Bar? I mean, that sounds good. Smith Marset is underrated. Buechele is a good one. I'd go with him or Rashee Rice. Yeah, I mean, Rashee Rice would probably be like my MVP or get the game ball for last game. He had a crazy game. It's funny, even though I kind of have Buechele as that as well, like I still think Gabbert's QB2. But he's been playing really well. Smith Marset's your preseason MVP? Yeah, we could roll with that guy too. I mean, he balled out. I want to get a pancake specialist shirt. Oh, I like that idea, Dre. That's a good idea. Have you grabbed the new Madden? No. Is it good? Is it better than every other year that's been the same? Let me know. Yeah, one live stream, All Chiefed Up sent me pizza. That was the 20K celebration live stream. 20K. Now we're about to hit 150. Oh, whoa. Time flies, man. That's crazy. I remember we hit 20K and I was like, man, because that was my end of the year goal, was 20K, and we hit it in like July or August maybe. Boycott Madden. So did I hear right? We redid Mahomes' contract again? No. Not yet. Not that I've seen. Nope. It's still the same. You deserve it, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah, the 20K pizza was wild. Dude, that freaked me out. Because Danny comes down, she's like, Cole, somebody just delivered pizza and said, congrats on 20,000 subs. I was like, what? How'd they find our address? That was crazy. If Chiefs wins the Super Bowl, will you shave? No. I'll shave my head. I'll shave up here. If we're first in the AFC and the defense is top 5 without Jones, do we just trade? I mean, there's no way the defense is top 5 without Chris Jones. I mean, I don't even know right now. I think I have him like on paper, like bordering top 10-ish. And I don't even know if that's going to happen for the first handful of weeks. There's no way the defense be top 5 without Chris Jones. Now, if for some reason they were, would you consider trading him? I don't know. I think the problem is teams that want him, they're going to have to fork over a lot. And they're like, well, if he's going to hit free agency next year, we'll just get him then. Or obviously the Chiefs can tag him, but I just hope a deal gets done, dude. I hope a deal gets done. I think they become a bottom 10 unit without Jones. He's just way too important to what they do. Yeah, Josh. I mean, he's the most important player on the defense. I mean, he's not. You can't. It's not an apples to apples comparison. Saying Chris Jones is the Mahomes of the defense, because Mahomes is the most important player, bar none, on any side of the ball. But he is right there. So. Yeah, Chris Jones, very important. I just hope he was trolling and he's actually going to show up and play, even if they don't get a deal done. But, time will tell. I hope he comes to play, because it changes a lot for the defense, man. I mean, imagine we talked about this already, but imagine no Chris Jones and no Omenihu for like the first multiple. I mean, Omenihu's suspended for 6 weeks, so he's out. But like, even when Omenihu gets back, he's going to have to ramp himself back up and get kind of caught up. I mean, if Chris Jones is gone that long too, dog, Mahomes going to have to put up 35 points minimum every game to win. I mean, I don't know. He's going to have to go 5,000 yard plus 50 TDs again. The linebackers are great. I'm happy with the defensive backs, most of them going into year 2. But here's the problem. If you can't get pressure on the QB, they got time to go through their reads. Defensive backs can only cover somebody for so long. You know what I mean? Josh said, yeah, that's tough. I'd like to see them bring in a veteran like Ingram or Dunlap. Yeah, I shouted out Carlos Dunlap once again in tonight's video that I dropped before this live stream. I told him to go to Honey Uninhibited, which is his restaurant, I said you could probably find him there. Yep. That's one thing. Veterans cost money. Last year, Carlos was brought in on a 1-year, $3 million deal. The Chiefs have under $1 million in cap space right now. There's other ways they can get the money than a Chris Jones extension, but yeah, obviously they cost money for sure. Well, guys, thanks so much for hanging out, man. I've been live since 8. It's 10:20. We've been holding 500 plus in here all night, though. It's been a lot of fun. Appreciate y'all so much. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the donos, the memberships, all the questions. It's been a long one. Long day just about Chris Jones and all that going on. I think we're all weary of the situation, but hopefully something gets resolved. You know, I would love it if he just got a deal done tomorrow and we just got it over with. Now, if he's wanting more than Aaron Donald, I just don't know if a deal gets done, man. And Chris Jones may not be a Chief for life like he tweeted about initially, and he ends up going elsewhere next year. We'll see. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but I can't wait for something to get done or for Chris Jones just to show up. That'll make me a lot more at ease because of his importance on the defense. But hey, appreciate you guys as always. We'll probably drop a video tomorrow. The next live stream will be Friday, Red Friday Q&A, and then we're going to live stream play-by-play the final preseason game, Chiefs versus the Cleveland Stains. We will call that game starting at about 11:45. We'll go live and we'll call the whole game. So can't wait to hang out with you guys. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go.
How about those Chiefs?